So, is there like snacks in the canteen, or why were you girls in the canteen?
Because it's burger.
Oh, burger. Oh, hot shit. You like burger?
Yeah.
Okay. Yuna, let's just quickly take up the test here. Multiple choice questions. A validation check to make sure that there's an @ sign. What is the answer? A, B, C, or D? DET.
I chose C, but I'm not sure.
Carol, what do you say? A, B, C, or D? We're taking up the answers for our review test.
No.
It is a format check. So if you have a mistake, please, a validation check to ensure something has been entered is C, presence check. Validation check to ensure a number is between 1 and 10. Yuna? Range check. That one's the good one. A program asks the user to enter exam between 0 and 100 inclusively. Which of the following is a normal test data? Carol, what is normal test data between 0 and 100? Yeah. And B? Yeah, this one actually was a kind of funny one because a normal test data also can be within the min max. So 0 could also be included. A program accepts the age between 1 and 18. Yuna, which is boundary data? Do you know what boundary? Boundary is minimum max plus the outer limits. Yeah. And then the last one, Carol, which test data is used to check unexpected input? What is it called? C. So please do review about the validation check. This will be sure on our exam. Wait, next page. This is where we got into trouble. This is about programming concepts. Carol, a subroutine that does not return a value. What is it called? Function, procedure, parameter, global variable, or local variable? It's a procedure. Okay? If you don't have return, it's procedure. Yuna, did you get that one right? Great. A value that is declared and used within a procedure. What is this answer? Yuna. Yes, because remember, any variable inside a function can only be used in the function. Okay? So it's a local variable. Carol, a value that a procedure expects you to supply when it's called. Yeah, you pass in global variables. And then the last one, a subroutine that will always return a value is called a function. Okay? So give yourself some mark. How did you do there, Yuna? Did you get most of them right? One wrong? Okay, pretty good. Carol, what is it meant by integer real bool? And give me an example. Whole number. Example 1. Okay, real, Yuna, what is a real number? A number that has decimal. Give me an example. 0.1. And last one, bool, is basically true or false statements, right? Those are like logical expressions. Now, when we went into coding, this is, what is the name of this array there? Is this a 1D array or 2D array there, Yuna? It's a 2D array. It says, given the following 2D array, print the number 5, and then up the value to 10. So I go print, tell me what is the index and numbers do I put inside these brackets? So in Python, we start counting at 0. So the 中间 is what? 1, 1. And then if I want to update it, you just go array 1, 1 equals to 10. Okay? Did you get that one right there, Carol?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Now, how about question number 10? How did you do on question number 10 there, Carol? What does a procedure mean? Carol? What is a procedure? How do you make a procedure in Python? Or how do you make a function? What is the key? I think I put a comment. Yeah, we have to go DEF. DEF stands for define, right? And then what we do is we give we need to have a name. So I'm going to call it sum. Can I use something else? No, because it's called name sum. Agree or disagree? Right? And then we pass the value. So I'm going to put 20, this way. I'm going to make a function called num1, num2. So I'm passing two variables inside with the maha. And then I just, I'm going to put smaller case sum is equal to num1 plus num2. And since this is a function or a procedure, then I just want to print out the sum within the function, okay? And then I just go print sum. Can you copy that there, Yuna and Carol, if you didn't get it right? And then to call it, I call sum, and then I just go 25 comma 50. And what this is going to do is it's going to pass these guys into the procedure. It's not going to return anything, but everything is done inside that. Okay? So if you can copy the code if you don't want. Or can I go to the next question, Carol? Bye. How to make this into a function there, Carol? This is for a little bonus thing. This is called a procedure, how to make it into a function. You're going to actually have this thing called return. If you pass a variable outside and you use the return, then that's going to become a function. Okay? All right, question number 11. Create a program that gets 4 numbers and it puts it into an array and then it calculates the average, right? So in this case, you need to have a loop, okay? And how many numbers do I need there, Yuna? Yeah, so I'm going to go for I in range. And I have 4 numbers. So this is going to give me a loop. Then I need to get some numbers. So number is going to be equal to an integer input. Let me use purple here. This is a little bit thick. Let's reduce that a little bit. Please enter a number. Okay? Why do I have a loop? Because it's just going to go through. It's going to be more easy. And then I need to have a sum. Sum is equal to sum plus num. What is this doing there, Yuna? What does this code do right here? Sum is equal to sum plus num. How do I determine the AVG? What is the equation? The average. Carol, do you know how to say average in Chinese?
Average.
Yeah, the average number. Ping. So you need to add up all the numbers, right? And then divide by how many numbers you have, right? So sum equals sum plus num is going to just add up all the numbers that you enter in, okay? And I guess we can declare sum at the very beginning as 0. And then what do I need to do there, Carol? What's the last thing? After I have the total sum, I need to divide by what? After I have the total sum, I need to divide by what? What is my average? What do I need to divide the sum by? Sum 除多少? How many numbers do I have? Carol? How many numbers do I need to divide by? For the average. We need to divide by 4. Why do I need to divide by 4 there, To get the average, because we have 4 numbers. Agree? And then the last thing is we can just, at the end, we can just print AVG. Okay? I guess this should be small a. Okay? So there we go. That's the program to determine the average. Carol, did you copy that? Let me know. Did you get that one right?
Yeah.
No problem. Wait. Where's the Nicole in? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Don't forget to have the int. I guess this should have a double bracket. Why do I need to have the int, Carol? Why do I have to have the int? It's because I'm asking for a number, not a string. Because all inputs in Python are strings. Just note, no input will always get a string. And so this int means it's going to get an integer, or it'll convert the string into an integer. Okay, last question. Can I go up? Is it okay? Carol, can you read the last question for us? It's on your paper. You can just do your own thing. Question 12. Okay, so what we can do is we need to get a password, right? Is equal to input. Do I need to put an int in front there, Yuna? We don't need an in because we want a password. Is a password a number? What is your password on your computer? Do you just put numbers? No, we use strings, right? And so we don't need the int in front there. So, Carol, how do I check the password length? Carol. How do I check the password length? It must be bigger than 6. Yeah. If len, what does len do there, Yuna? Yeah? len, what does len do? What does len stand for? It's called the length. It's just the short form. Okay? And so if this is true, then we should be okay, right? And then we would also have to check if it also has a number using a loop. What we could do is have numbers in an array of, and there would be strings like 0, 1, 2, 3, done, all the way up to 9. And then in here you say if you could have a loop in here that loops around from 0 to 9 to check whether the password has that. So for example, if numbers and we start at 0, for example, is equal, sorry, if that's equal to password 0, okay, then it would have it. But we can make a loop that's going to loop through all the different things there. I'm pretty sure there's also a find function as well. But this is the general idea. Okay. Any questions about the culture, or is that Chinchu? Okay. So we just have basically 3 more lessons, okay? And then we're gonna have our final exam. So this is the schedule for the next days or so. This week, we're going to study about 3.7, about encryption, okay? Friday, we're gonna be on 3.8. These are like the 2 last day, things about computer science, okay? And then right here, we also, next week we're gonna do some review. And then our exams is gonna be one of these days on January, maybe 26 to 28 is exam week. Okay, so your exam will be on one of those dates. And your exam is going to be 이무양 to one of these right here. Carol, I just want you to turn off this one. 7点 and then play that. I think you're doing it. So your final exam is going to be like one of these booklets. So that's why I give it to you now that you can fuji and then to prepare yourself. So it's going to be on paper 1, but it's not, there's some questions on here that's not included. There's no AI and there's no robotics, okay? So I take out 2 topics, but everything else is included, and a little bit of programming, okay? So if you can go through this paper 1 test to fuji, then you will be ready for your IT culture, okay? I just take some past papers. So right here, can you look here? Past papers right here, I have uploaded many years of the IT culture, okay? And I will just, I just choose random question, okay? And so right here, if you go, I have paper 2, and I put paper 1, okay? There's paper 1 right here. I put many, many papers, and you can see the date. For example, paper 1 right here, 1.2. This is a previous year test paper, and it also has the answers there as well. But I give you the hard copy so that you don't have to. Carol, just take 5分钟 and then play that, okay? Otherwise, me not so here. Just go 3, 4 and then play that. You'll feel much better. Alright. Good, yeah, not some water. Do you need some water for her to get? Do you have a water bottle to you can give to her? She can get you some water. Your water is okay. Alright. Now we're on 3.6, and that's encryption. Is Carol always sleepy or just in ICT? Oh, okay. So I don't have to dashing, right? I don't have to worry too much. Okay. So let's have a look. Today, do you have your notebook there, Yuna? I want you to write 3.6, 3.6, called encryption. And then in your notebook, put today's date. What is today's date? Yeah. Okay. So January 13th and in this encryption. Basically, we're on, this is actually from paper 2. Okay? But I put a little bit of paper 2 in the final exam because we did a little bit of coding, and it's linked into coding as well. and about networking, because we're in Unit 2 is about networking, right? And basically, when you send your data on the internet, what is data on the internet called? Do you know, Yuna? On the internet, when I 送东西, what is it called? Do you know the data? They put these little 一块一块, and then it sends it on the internet. Do you know what each of those 一块 are called? They're called packets. Packets. Okay? Because data is big. And so they have to 分开. You have to cut the data, send it onto the internet, and then later it's repackaged together, and then you can read the data. My question is, Carol, do you think that as that data is going on the internet, is someone is able to take the data? Can they read my message? I say, hello, Carol, right? And I'm sending a wishing message. If I grab one of your data packets on the internet, do you think that someone can listen to my conversation on the internet? Your data is on the internet. Do you think that people can download your data? I can grab your packet because you're to a place. I can copy. Do you think I can open your data? What do you think, Carol? I send a yojian. Do you think that someone can read my yojian on the internet? So, in fact, even if I grab the packet, I cannot read because of today's topic. Today's topic is called encryption. And so I'm sending a message to Carol. Let's say I'm sending a message called box 345. I can read this. But then I put it into my computer. There's an algorithm. It does some shushe. It does some math. And then it goes, can you understand this? What does this say? DQZ567. Canadon? Do you know what that means? Well, Camadon, why? It's because I can read this. Well, I know what this means, but I encrypt it. Encrypt it means to scramble the data. And so even if I try to need the information, I cannot read unless I unscramble it. In your notebook, you need to write down this word called encryption. Carol, can you read the definition? What does encryption mean? Very good. Can you read that? Encryption is basically to encode data, to scramble, to mix data, to make it so, okay? So write down in your notebook called encryption. Tell me, what is encryption? And why is this, Joanna? Why is encryption important? If my message is not encrypted, what's going to happen on the internet? It means it's more private. It's safe, right? My data is going on the internet. Even if someone tries to my yojian, if someone grabs my packet, including my email message, it makes the data safe. It makes it private. Okay? It means that someone cannot steal my email. Someone cannot steal my message. And that's really important. And so this lesson is all about encryption. Okay? Carol, what is encryption and why is it Joyon? Do you have the definition okay? Yep. Tell me what is encryption and why is it important? What is encryption? Did you write it in your notebook? Maybe you look at Yuna's notebook. What is encryption there, Carol? Did you get it? What is encryption? Yeah, encoding. What is the other Booyah the dancer? What is the other name for encoding? Yeah, to scramble, to mix, to make it so I don't understand. Who's this man? Do you know this man there, Yuna? Do you know who Julius Caesar is? Did you study some Lucian? Do you study about him? Who is he? So in Roma, is it Roma, right? You know Rome. You know what Roma? In Rome, the emperor was called Julius Caesar, and he is like the king, like the war, right? Of that time. That's your Julius Caesar. And they invented this idea. I don't know if he invented it, but there's this thing called a Caesar shift cipher. Okay? I have a question. In Roma, did they have internet? No. Did they have to send messages to each other? Do they have message? 他们有. They have piece of paper. And so maybe they have a military and they 发送一个重要的 information about where they're going to fight. 对不对? And so if someone steals the message, they can read it. 对不对? And so they have an idea. It's called a cipher. And what the cipher does, it's they took the Roman alphabet. For us, we have A, B, C, D. Agree or disagree? And then they just said A is going to shift to the right 3 places. And so they went A becomes D, B becomes E, and C becomes F. Okay? And so when they had a message to send, they just used a different alphabet. It's called basically a Caesar shift encryption cipher. And then they could write a message. Can you girls tell me what is this word? I want you to do the reverse. What is this word? I want you to use the cipher. This is called the key. Okay? And I want you to go back and tell me this word. I'll give you 1 HP. Go for it. I want you to decrypt this message. PCR, PCYR. 是一个单词. I want you to decrypt it. P is 不是 P, right? P 是 M. So I want you to 写那个 word. 有什么单词? Do you understand there, Yuna? I want you to decrypt PCR, PCYR. 然后写在你的单词. What is this 单词? Using the deciphering the code, okay? For the first one, I will try to decode this one. You guys do this one. So this is going to be A. W is Q R S T U V W. Oh my goodness. So this is going to be S T U V W X, Y. F is I, N is Q. What? What does the word say? Did you have a check? This one right here? What did we get? The very first one is P. C is what? C is F. R is T. P is, oh, actually, we're going the other way around. Yes, it goes this way, DVD. I have to go the opposite direction. Let me erase this. So P is M. C is it S?
Oh, X.
X. R is O. P is M. C this is A, B, C. C is Z? Huh?
So the second one is Z. It's not X.
Should be Z. This is not making any sense to me. C is Y. Y go back 3. It's still, well, yeah, Kamudong. I think this cipher is kind of funny. Mizomzi something. It's for sure a good answer. I think we're doing something wrong, but I'll have to double check. So the idea basically is one idea is to decrypt is going back from the key and doing the reverse process. So if they shifted the letter one way, then if you know the key, that is the shafa of how you go from one to the other. For example, D to A, okay? And this is called the key, okay? And so they would send the message and then they would pass only the key inside the message and then you could decrypt it, okay? So how does this relate to the technology? Well, do you know you have passwords on the internet? You can actually encrypt the passwords, okay? And this way, I'm just going to skip down to right. So today, when they send you the data, okay, we can also have a decrypting key. But how does the key work today? This is what we have, is we have our data, right? And the key is usually, they use prime numbers. They use some 数学, okay? And prime numbers are, what are the two numbers that multiply to give you 15? What are the prime numbers of 15? What are the two numbers that play baseline to give you 15? What are two numbers that multiply to give you 15? Like you can do 1, 10, 15, right? You can also do 3 times 5, right? And so these are called prime numbers, 3 and 5. And so what happens is usually you have one number and then you have to determine the next number, and that will be called the key, right? How about 91? What are the prime numbers? What are the two numbers that multiply to give you 91? Okay, but we can't, those aren't the, so we have 1 and 91, but what are the other numbers inside him? It cannot be 1 and itself. What is the other numbers that give you two numbers that multiply to give you 91? Carol, can you help us out? I know your math's good. I need the other numbers that multiply to give you 91. Can you think? What are two numbers that multiply to give you 91? Let's have a try. What is 13 times 7? This is going to be 7. This is going to be 21 plus 70. Agree or disagree? That's 91. And so it's a little bit hard to do that in your head, right? 我们可以猜 to get it. But if you have 143, what are two numbers to give you multiply 143? It's 越来越难, 对不对? How about if I have this? 17,000. Can you think of two numbers that multiply to give you this that are prime numbers? Is that easy or hard? It's hard. There are some the humans that can do that, but the computer can try to do it as well. But for humans, it's hard. So the computers can do very big numbers as well, but it can't be 1 in itself. So that's why they 减一, okay? And then it can do the math. And this is called encryption. Is they do some math to scramble the data, and if you know the key, it's usually a prime number. So they have the number. 1, they give you the number inside the data. It's one of the prime numbers. The other key is the second prime number. And if you use that, you can 打开 the message. Okay? So that's kind of how the encryption works today. Okay? So there are two types of encryption techniques. Okay? And then I want you to copy that down. One is called private, called symmetric encryption. Okay? You need to share it into your notebook. The second one is called public encryption. Okay? In private encryption, what happens is I have my data. I send it. And then I have a key. Okay, here's my key. Here's my key, okay? This key is not shared. It's the same key. Okay? This is called private key. It's called symmetric. Symmetric means 一样的. It means same. Okay? So that means that I make a cipher, and then I give the key to the same person so that they can hide the information. Okay? The second one is called public key or asymmetric encryption. Asymmetric means 不一样. It means not the same. So I have my data, and it scrambles it. But right here, I have 2个 key. Okay? One key is called private. That means that I only know. The other key is given to 所有的人. It's called public. Do you know the difference between private and public? Terrible. Do you need to wash your face? What is the difference between private and public? 这个单词 Have you heard of, you know, you have the 厕所, there's a private 厕所 and a public washroom. What is the difference between private and public? Private 是在家里, only you can use your own washroom, 对不对? Public washroom means like in the street shop, in the school, this is a 所有的人 can use. And so, what they do is, you know how you have 15, and then we can break it into 2块的 data, 对不对? We can say that it's 3 times 5. We have 2 pieces of data. Well, one data I keep, 我保存. The other data, for example, the 3, I make it so that everyone 可以看. That's sure they don't know 3乘多少. What are they multiplying by? But if I know the other key, then I can figure out the prime number, and then I can backtype the information. So that's like the idea. We have 2个想法. One is called symmetric. It means I have a cipher. It could be like, okay, ABC, and then I shift this way. It's the 想法. I just give it to the person. That's like a private. Okay? And the other 想法 is called public keys, is where I have 一个钥匙是 I keep myself. This is a 小秘密. It's 无, that's sure no one know that. It's a secret. It's private. 对不对? And then I have a public key that I give 所有的人. If I know the private key and public key, 我乘, I multiply it, I can find the key to backtype the information. Okay? So that's the difference between symmetric and asymmetric encryption. Okay, you know, what is the difference between private and public encryption? Tell me the difference between the two.
Only that inside you already have so called not have
Okay, what encryption has 2 keys, and which one has 1 key? Symmetric or asymmetric? What one has 2 keys? Symmetric or asymmetric? Okay, let's have a look. Asymmetric have 2个钥匙. Symmetric has 1. How can 我们可以背出来? Symmetric means 一样的, same. That means 一个钥匙. It means 1 key. Asymmetric means 不一样的. And that means that you have 2个. Okay? And then private means 一个钥匙. Public keys means 2个钥匙. Cool? This is like how he does. So we have the plain text data. This is the data I send. Then I use a ciphertext. It goes, it scrambles the data. It finds out 2 prime numbers. 2个 prime numbers, 2, 10, right? It makes a key, right? If I know both of those numbers and I send it to him, he can do the math and do it. Okay, it's 一个钥匙. Okay? The other 想法 is public. You have the plain text, and then I make one, everyone can see that number. Everyone can see the key. 对不对? And then I send the other one, it's hidden. Maybe it was 3. But no one can know that. But if I know the 2 keys, the public in it, and I do the mathematics, then I can backtype the information. Right? That's the idea of encryption. Okay, so the last two things I want you to write this down is secure sockets layer, SSL. Okay, can you copy this definition right here? What is SSL? And this is to do with the 上网. SSL is a protocol. Protocol 是一个 rule, 是一个想法 for transmitting private documents via the internet. It uses asymmetric encryption. So this is a key. We need to remember it uses 两个钥匙, 2 keys. Okay? To encrypt data before transmission. Carol, if I send data on the internet, is it safe? If you fax 送一个邮件, can someone read my message? 不可以. Why? You know why can someone not read my message? Because it's saying it's encoded or encrypted, right? And there's 两个想法, one's called symmetric and asymmetric. So SSL is a protocol. It is an asymmetric protocol that it's 一样的想法. 但是它的名字 is called 安全 secure sockets layer. And many websites use SS layer. They usually they show you, if you go on the bank, they will show you a lock. You know this lock symbol? It means it's 手了, it means 安全. This means that it's using SSL, 是安全. Okay? So when you go onto a website, some data is 安全, some is not. Okay? DARGA. Can you copy this down? It's called transport 安全. 发送, it's called TLS. Transport 是发送, it means when you send the data, you have a security. Okay? TLS is a 新的想法. It's a new protocol. It's more recent upgrade to SSL. It's used with more newer web browser. Okay? And it's just more safe. Okay? In the future, all internet, we went from SSL to the more newer one is called TLS. Okay, it's this basically encryption, and it uses symmetric, 还是 asymmetric? Yuna, is this symmetric, 还是 asymmetric? If you have public and private key, 两个钥匙, is this? It's asymmetric. All right. Your schoolwork, okay, is Sandian, is this Sandianqi? Okay, about encryption, okay? So, oh, sorry, it's 3.6. What I want you to do is just on your computer, you can back out your computer and Future encryption right here and put it into your 作业文件夹. You need to explain what is encryption and why is it so 重要. How did the Caesar shift cipher work? Okay, that's to do with the letters. It's shift 作用. Explain the difference between symmetric and asymmetric encryption. Okay? And then the fourth one is try to create your own Caesar shift cipher using arrays. Okay? This is kind of more like a bonus. But it's a little fun little thing that you can do is using Python, make your own encryption. Cool? Is that clear? Carol, do you need to go for a little more walk or are you okay? Carol, do you have a DNL? Can you open your DNL and then you can hasher for your square?